Okay, let's try something a little different. We're going to look at a text many of us know, but from an angle you've probably never even considered. In this explainer, we're exploring an analysis that frames the Qur'an not as a book of stories, but as a complete operational system. Let's dive in.
So let me just throw this out there. What if an ancient text was actually a piece of software? I know, it sounds a little wild, but stick with me. The idea here is that it's not just something you read, it's something you run. It's a functional, repeatable protocol, and we're going to unpack how it works.
The analysis we're digging into here actually has a name for this. It calls it the game of books. And the premise is simple that, wow, it's a big one. It suggests the Quran is a live instruction set, a system designed to achieve a very specific outcome. It's a huge shift from just passively reading to actively executing. All right, so if we're talking about a system, every system is designed to solve a problem, right? So what's the problem here? Well, according to this analysis, the primary challenge is a concept called taghut. Let's break that down. Now, taghut isn't some kind of monster or bad guy. It's way more subtle. Think of it like a systemic bug, a glitch in reality. It's any kind of authority or illusion, whether it's inside your own head or out in the world, that's built on a false foundation. It's the core error this software is meant to debug. And here's where it gets really, really interesting. How do you fix this bug? You don't fight it. You don't attack it with force. The source material is very clear. Taghut is dissolved by questioning. It's like shining a light on a shadow. You just expose the falsehood for what it is, and it just falls apart on its own.
And this isn't some new idea, by the way. There's a blueprint for this in the story of Ibrahim. He sees the stars, the moon, the sun, all these powerful things, and he questions them. He notices they all have one thing in common. They rise, and then they set. They're temporary. And that's the big insight. Anything that sets cannot be the ultimate authority. Boom! That's the logic that dissolves Taghut.
Okay, so we've got the problem, taghut, and we've got the method, questioning. So how do you start? How do you boot up the system? Well, the analysis points to one specific verse as the activation key, the run command, if you will. And this is it. Qur'an 19:12. O Yahya, take the book with strength. Now, in this framework, that's not just a nice piece of advice from a long time ago. No, this is the command prompt. This is you typing execute and hitting enter.
So what does it actually mean to take the book with strength? It means creating what the source calls a book-first consciousness. You're going straight to the source code, no middlemen. But strength here also means understanding its architecture. This is key. Imagine the Quran not as a flat text, but as a layered structure. As you go deeper, verse by verse, the shorter chapters just fall away. The meaning gets more and more concentrated. And if you go deep enough, only one chapter is left standing. Chapter 2. Taking the book with strength means engaging with this built-in structure. It's not interpretation, it's just observing how the thing is built. And when you do that, when you flip that switch, there's an immediate consequence. It's like a chain reaction. Taking the book this way connects you directly to another law in the system, verse 21:10, which says the righteous will inherit the earth. And we're not just talking about real estate here. In the context of this system, it means inheriting authority over your own reality. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. This is the core protocol, the step-by-step process that kicks in once you've hit run. This isn't random. It's laid out like a repeatable, lawful sequence. And here's the chain of command, so to speak. It all starts with 1912. Take the book directly, understanding its structure. That simple act forces a reorientation, pointing you back to the originator. Once you're properly oriented, you activate the law of inheritance we just talked about. And from that position of authority, you can now expose falsehoods. That's the logical entrapment part. The final step, you neutralize fire, which is just a stand-in for coercion, fear, all that social pressure. You see how each step enables the next? It's a cascade. Now, this is really important. That final step, the fire becoming cool and safe, it's not presented as some kind of magical miracle. It's a legal consequence. It's physics. If you execute the previous steps in the protocol correctly, the fire simply loses its jurisdiction over you. It's the system producing a predictable result based on the inputs. So all of this leads to a pretty huge shift in perspective, right? Let's talk about what it means to move from just reading history to actually executing code. Yeah, this really breaks it down. On one side, you have the traditional way, reading as history. You're learning about what prophets did. It's a record. You're an observer. But on the other side, you're executing it as code. You're not just reading about it, you're activating that same protocol now. The text becomes a live instruction set. You're no longer on the sidelines, you're the one running the program.
And this leads to a really fascinating idea in the source material. When you activate 1912, the system flips from just describing truth to actively executing it. And that execution state, that function, it has a name, a med. So in this view, a med isn't just a historical figure. It's the name of the function that comes online when the system is running properly.
All right, let's wrap this up and hit the main points one more time. First, we've looked at an analysis that sees the Qur'an as a system. Second, that system is designed to debug a specific problem, falsehood, using a very clear protocol. Third, you activate the whole thing with direct engagement, understanding its structure. And finally, doing this changes your role completely, from just a reader to an active executor.
And I want to leave you with this one last thought from the source, because it really sums up the whole perspective. This is not theology, this is architecture. The claim here isn't about belief, it's about structure. It's about looking at the blueprints, from the way the chapters are layered to the legal chain we just walked through, and recognizing that you're not just looking at a book, you're looking at a machine.